do 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 do.
A Learn and Learn trailer, assessing discussions.
Hi everyone, I'm James Skidmore, Faculty of Arts Teaching Fellow.
And I'm Kyle Schultz, CTE Liaison with the Faculty of Arts. So I hear you want to now assess these discussions that you've created, and I'd be interested in hearing the kinds of ways that you would want to assess these discussions.
Sure. I think with discussions, I use them to be to find out if students are keeping up with the material. I do it more as kind of a good faith effort. I'm not looking for necessarily that they have exactly right answers or complicated, explanations for things. I just want to make sure they're kind of keeping track with what's going on.
Okay.
So I keep the grading system very simple, either like a pass-fail kind of thing, or maybe just a couple of points. A 3-point system where 3 is, they've got everything covered. 2, something not quite right, that sort of thing. Just
Okay.
as simple as possible.
Perfect. So let's look at ways that we can actually integrate that into the Learn discussions then.
Very good.
So to actually assess then a discussion topic, by default, it's actually not accessible. So we have to turn on assessment first and foremost. So if we go to our list of discussions, we're going to scroll down and we can see, all right, Boston Cream, we actually have a thread and a couple posts to that thread. So we want to assess that. What we have to do is click on that little upside down arrow, and then we want to edit our topic to add that assessment to it. When we go to there, we'll see the screen that we would have seen when creating that topic, but we can now click on assessment at the top. And what that then shows us is, first, if we have a grade item already created, we can actually link that topic up to the grade item so that when we assess it, the grades are automatically transferred directly to the grade book. Nice and simple.
Yep.
But we don't need to do that. But what we do need to do is put some kind of numeric value in the score out of column. So again, for your pass-fail, it could just simply be a 0 or a 1. That's just it. Or for your 3 to 0, quite simple. So let's do that. We'll say it's out of 3. And now here, what we can do is we can either, when assessing, assess every single post or thread or reply and then assign that a single grade, or we can grade each single post or reply, and then the system itself will actually average all of those scores and provide an aggregate score out of all of those. You can choose both. It's just a matter of clicking on that box. But for now, I'm just going to assign a single grade to all of the posts or threads.
Sort of like a general grade to all of that student's contributions.
Exactly. So when I'm happy with that, I click Save and Close. And now when I go back to my list of discussions, I'll see a little bit different now. A little ruler there includes assessment. So to assess it, I click on the arrow again, and I now have a new option, Assess Topic. So by clicking on that, the view that I'm going to see now is every single student, and here we just have a bunch of test students. Yours would have your actual student names, and each student has a topic score underneath his or her name. And that's what we're going to be clicking on to grade.
Very good.
So I'm going to take the first test student. I'm going to click on his topic score.
How do we know it's a him?
It's a very good question. I just chose him.
All right, very good.
Could be her.
All right.
So we see this window here now. We're going to see the form that's a part of the topic, who is by. We're going to see as well that this test student had 2 posts. And if we scroll down, this is where we see the posts. So we see here we have his one post. It's in the thread, Boston Cream is my favorite donut. The student said it is the greatest, and also obviously wrote in reply to someone, well, how dare you, about something. That's his reply to someone.
Someone who disputed the claim of Boston Cream's greatness.
So I would look at both. I would say, well, that's a pretty great argument. I think that deserves a 3. You can as well add feedback if you want to. And again, the student will see the feedback too, depending on how much time you want to afford to that. But when you're happy with that, you just will click Save and Close. And now, as we can see, that student has their score out of 3.
And if we had chosen the grading of each individual posting, then in that we would have seen next to each post would have been a spot to do the grading of that post.
That's just it. We would see a little box beside each post there.
It's very straightforward.
It is exactly that. And that's all you have to do then to grade. When you're happy, you just click Close.
I'm always happy.
Perfect.
Do 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 do. Ding 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 ding.